uNkulunkulu athi mina ngine-plan, I've got a plan. If I had time today, my plan was to take 5 minutes and 5 to 10 minutes and summarize episode 1, 2, and 3, so that as we get into this episode 4, those who are not with us will understand, but those who have been with us, you will flow and you will understand. And also, in episode 1, you will actually recall that some of the things that we spoke about, it is important that the type of a company that you keep, uNkulunkulu makane-plan nawe kubalulekile ukuthi where you are. But i-plan yakaNkulunkulu nawe about your life is not determined, as we've been saying in the past, is not determined by the environment of you. It's not determined by the environment where you come from. uNkulunkulu akakubusisi ngoba you're coming from a good and great and wealthy family. As we've had those who were with us yesterday, Dr. Ngcobo, when he spoke, that he never had a model of a father, but today he is regarded as a leading person who is creating a platform to teach about fatherhood. Ngulunkulu elevated him, and coming from a poor family, today he's celebrated, is known. Now, uNkulunkulu makane-plan nawe, it is for him so that at the end he can be magnified, so that it's for him ukuthi abonise amandla akhe ngawe, or it's for him ukuthi abonise amandla akhe through you. Izwi likaNkulunkulu malikhuluma kuGenesis 26, I mean, it starts very interestingly. It says, there was a famine in the land. Now, when the word, or when you start to say there was a famine in the land, is also an indication that there is no hope in that environment. It means it's an environment which is dry, it's an environment which is not productive, it's an environment that is not easily habitable because it is a famine. Akuna manzi, people are suffering, animals are dying because there's no proper food, there is no water. Now, uNkulunkulu says, the word says there was a famine, and uNkulunkulu directs Isaac where to go. Sometimes we've been speaking with uNkulunkulu makakhuluma nawe, to what extent are you hearing him? Akhona amanye voices which are around us, but when God speaks unto you, akususe kule environment ekuyo, akutshela ukuthi hamba uye endaweni ethize. And also mawufika kule ndawo ethize, ngoba yena une-plan. We've been saying that uNkulunkulu start from the end to the beginning, then they say ahamba now from the beginning to where you're supposed to be, but God starts from the end to the beginning. If please go back to I think that sermon was on episode 2, where we spoke in details about God starting in an end. Mind reality, this is my daughter, this is my son, this is how I'm going to prosper and increase him. If future yake, it is already determined, is set up for him. But because people are not trusting God, because people are not faithful in God, because people tend to give up easily, then they lose on the very things not because God has not said to give you those things. Now, ushokuthini mfundisi? Ifemine ifikile. The only thing that we hear God speaks about is that I had blessed Abraham because he trusted me. This when we get home. I have blessed Abraham because he trusted me. I have made him to increase because he trusted me. Meaning our increase in the plan of God, part of it is in trusting in God. Not only trusting in God, but is in obeying God. Not only that, but working in the things that God says zizophumelela into our life. Trusting in God means these two things. Meaning when you get to Isaiah 26 verses 4, it says, trust in the Lord forever. Forever. He is our everlasting strength. I need to trust in God for that particular thing. It says, trust in God forever. Proverbs 3:5, it says, trust God from the bottom of your heart. Do not try to figure out everything on your own. Attitude is like, and don't go to Egypt. Because he knew that Egypt at that time was prosperous, was increasing, was fertile. But Unkulunkulu will take you into a place where it looks impossible. That isn't zizo yenzakala khona. But if you trust in him, in the famine that was there, in the famine that we are finding ourselves in. We are in the famine of a pandemic because a pandemic is killing people, is destroying people. It's a famine where people, or some people, they've lost hope. It's like Isaac was living during a challenge. The famine was the pandemic of that time. We all have struggles and challenges that we face. I have my own struggles, I have my own challenges, you have your own struggles, you have your own challenges. But your own challenges and your famine, it does not mean God does not exist. It does not mean that God has not already figured out how you are going to succeed, how you are going to come out of that famine. Now, he moves, we know the story, he moves, he finds himself in the presence of a king, whom is called Abimelech. Abimelech spelled Abimelek. But the other Bibles end it with pronounces as Abmelech. Now, he was a king. That was not his name, just like Pharaoh. Pharaoh was not the name of a person, but it was the name of the kings of Egypt. They were called pharaohs. Similar, the kings of Philistines were called Abimelech. They were the title which were referred to them, not Utibogikama Lomundu. Now, interestingly, what we find is that Unkulunkulu being faithful, Isaac finds himself in a place where he is afraid and he hides his true identity. He calls his wife a sister, but later on the king makes a decree. Since I've seen that this is your wife, don't do that. Therefore, the king declares, no one must touch Rebecca. Whoever touches Rebecca shall be killed. The king is very supportive, is very loving of Isaac. Everything is going so well, is going so good. The only thing that we need is that when God speaks to us, part of God's plan in our life, or in Zetu, is characterized by God is our protector, or God will protect us, and God will guide us. And listen to this. It's true, part of God's plans about our life. God will punish us according to his will. And also in testing, God will bless us. God will give us hope because His promises are forever true. The word says in 2 Peter 3:9, the Lord isn't slow to do what He has promised. As for some people think rather, He is patient for your sake. He doesn't want to destroy anyone, but wants all people to have an opportunity to turn to Him. He changed the way they think and act. Nkulunkulu is very patient. The only thing that He does in His promise is to change the way you think and is to change the way you act. Why must God change the way we think? Because sometimes abanye bethu asiphumeleli ngoba samkela zonke izinto zingene into our thinking. We are allowing fear, we are allowing worry, we are allowing so many things that are coming in, and those things are suppressing what God has planned unto us. Therefore, Nkulunkulu says, I'm going to change, guys, how you think. And I'm going to change how you act. Ngendlela o acta ngayo, o behave ngayo, as we've been speaking, that God says you need to copy me, you need to imitate me. Therefore, you cannot imitate me and then go and deceive people of their monies. You cannot imitate me and deceive me and go and rob people and go and do things that are not aligned to the word of God. That's why our thinking and acting ought to change. God's mystery about His plan for us. Okay, the mystery is that uNkulunkulu uyakunika gradually the strength that you are going to need where you are going. Isaac was a miracle child. Therefore, as a miracle child who was born from the old age of his parents, both Abraham and Sarah, he understood what is sacrifice. Not only did he understood the meaning of sacrifice, but the spirit of giving came to him. The spirit of giving automatically hovered into him. That is why the Bible says during famine, let me not be ahead. During famine, he sowed, he gave. Azange I withhold, but he sowed because he understood. Isaac, just like his father, was in a right standing with God, and Isaac, just like his father, also expected God to do something for him. Sometimes, even if unemployment, others do not have even expectations about our own self. We're not expecting, okay. I'm doing this need. We're not expecting to say, this is the day that the Lord has made, and I'm going to do this, and in this day I am going to triumph. What you do not expect, you are not going to experience. Psalm 5 verses 12 says, you bless the righteous people, O Lord, like a large shield. You surround them with your favor. Because expectation is nothing else, but you are saying, Lord, let your favor be granted in me. Let your favor happen in Pudenian. Now, Isaac finds himself in an environment that is not productive, but that does not deter him from giving, from sowing. The Bible says, because in verses 12, then Isaac sowed in that land. And he reaped the same year. Not only did he reap the same year, he reaped 100-fold. Give me in New King James of verse 13 of Psalms 26. You plow the same year, you reap the same year, 100-fold. But not only 100-fold are you reaping. Listen to the triple P. I call them the triple P of who God is. Then the man began, or Isaac began to prosper. Began to prosper. As he was beginning to prosper, as we are starting to receive those contracts in the Marignana ETs, and maybe you are receiving a 5 million tender, you are beginning to prosper. Then what you do, you go and buy cars, you live large, you stay there. But the word of God, prosperity iyaqala somewhere. Iqala ngani? Iqala ngokunikela. Mawusunikelile, then there is an increase, there is 100-fold that will come into you. Not only 100-fold, okunikelile othembe uNkulunkulu ngako kuzoyenzakala the same year, the same period. Okay, he began to prosper. And after he began to prosper, he continued to prosper. Uyaqala, uyaphumelela. That is why I always say, do not stay in the comfortability of what you are having. Because uNkulunkulu has not destined or placed you to be there. Abanye bethu sithi, masi receive one blessing. I normally make this example. I'm not going to mention her name. She used to say, in my time, I used to do a hit. Why Ngcobo sis? Was that no? President said I must talk to you, I must call you. Ngcobo. I used to be famous. I like when she said I used to be famous. It means she's realizing that she is no longer famous. May we not be the people that will go back and say, I used to be. May we be the people who saying, and God is still continuing, blessing me, increasing me in good health, in finances, in wisdom, and in opportunities. Because the favor is upon me. Not only is it continuing, who is with our Jehovah? Until he became very prosperous. Very prosperous. Now uNkulunkulu has destined you that you want to increase. Unezimpi ongamelanga manje uzime. As Isaac, now he's increasing, he's prospering. In favor kaNkulunkulu, angeke ube favored kaNkulunkulu uthando wonke umuntu. Ifavor kaNkulunkulu izokulethela izitha. Ifavor kaNkulunkulu izokulethela ama-enemies. When he started to prosper, to increase, what happened? The king now started to be jealous. Not only did the king become jealous, the same king who said, we like you, we're going to protect you, you and your wife. It's the same king who said, it's the same king that expels him and says, go here. Now, when people move you into their environment, do not contend with them. Just leave. Just leave. There's so much space. That is why Abraham never wasted his time with Lot. He said, listen here, Lot. Choose the best. Choose the best land. Choose. Yeah. If there were drones those times, I know, take a drone and let the drone move around and choose the best. Then after you have chosen, then take your way, I will take my way. Because they choose according to the thinking or to the flesh which is not spiritually led. Therefore, it is not aligned to the anointing or to the favor yakaNkulunkulu. Ibonakala ngathi izophumelela, ibonakala ngathi igreen, that land. But after 6 months, then it is the same land that is in famine. But the one that is looking dry, is not looking that there is hope. After 2 months or so, then there is life in it, because God has favored you, because His Spirit is upon you. God has a divine plan for our life. You can tweet about this until you prosper. Heaven won't rest. God's favor is generational. In Genesis 12:2-3, we see God making a promise in the same way that He's making to Isaac, the promise of land. So Gaia land, I'm going to give you land. And not only I'm going to give you land, you'll be a father of nations, many descendants. You'll multiply. He said that to Abraham, and He said that to Isaac. And He said, I'm going to bless you. Your seed will be blessed. That's why he prospered. Now, in verses 16, which I love so much, and Abimelech said to Isaac, go away from us, for you are much stronger than us. Sometimes labantu oseduze kwabo that you are assisting them, and they feel the power and the strength yakaNkulunkulu esukuwe. Therefore, when the favor, that's why they say favor is not fair. Because masekulokethile ifavor kaNkulunkulu iyatomula. I always say the favor that tomulas you. Mayingakafiki kuwe ifavor etomulayo isazuza mntana sekhaya. Uzoyi-experience, and once you experience it, no one will take what God has placed unto you, for you will move according to where God has placed you. Because you have been dominated by God. Uthi uNkulunkulu, as we move on in Genesis, Lord, when you go back to Genesis 1:26, because I have created man according to our likeness, the main strength, the main character expanding as I that go dominate. But you are not fighting with them. And what Isaac does, he dug the first well. They come in and fight with him, because he knows that he's a blessed person. Again, now we are she at the first well and go, because we have Unkulunkulu will continue to prosper me. Agami endaweni wami aze alwe, aze akhiphe namagama, aze akhese. I've been saying in the past week, isibusiso sikaNkulunkulu ngawe esakho. uNkulunkulu makathi ngiyabusisa wena Sifiso. Angeke umuntu overtake athathe ngoba sekamphambi kwami and thinking that the person has taken my blessing. Abanye, they will be protecting you from harm. I once made this testimony. Lapha ngase fountain in Pretoria. This guy wangikhatha kabuhlungu. But I didn't contend with him. You know, if bengasomfundisi bengokhuluma naye. But besomfundisi I calmed down, prayed. Ngilalela umculo wami, ngahluleka naye. Ngaphuma kuye. Just nje mangizismayilela sawe isihlahla phezu kwakhe. Boom, isihlahla phezu kwakhe. Sometimes yekela abakhathayo bazoyenza ukuthi when the enemy was aiming ukuthi nosekazosondela yena makangena whatever the enemy was sending to you izohlangana naye wena uzodlulela nje uthi uhamba. That is why the past few weeks I've been saying, because we are like Christ, asilwi nabantu endleleni, we do. Now, I'm not going to explain each and every well, because we know them. But as they close the first well, Bafaga Udoti, he goes to the second well. He does it, Puma Amanzi Bahival. The importance of a well, because this was a man who had livestock. Therefore, in livestock, he needed to have water, needed to drink, needed to survive. In livestock, he needed to ensure that it becomes stronger. You can be able to survive, but you do need water. Yes, we do need food, but we do need water and water and water. Therefore, a well also spiritually, a well is a womb. It's the significance of a womb, something that is able to produce. Therefore, he goes into the third well, because you know that when you are favored, I do not need to contend with people. Wasting my time. He moves on. And when they see that we are kubeka, we are prosper, that is why even the king said, let's leave him. Instead they say, let us form in a pact. May you come back, because we see that the God that is in you, we see that the grace that is in you, noma singenzani, noma singakubopha, noma singakuxosha, noma singathatha izinto zakho, but you will continue prospering. It does not matter where you are. By the virtue that you are the child of God, you will prosper regardless. It's not the environment that makes you prosper. It is the plan of God that is in you. Therefore, abanye bethu kumele siphume in some of the environment esikuzo, so that uNkulunkulu azosibonisa ukuthi how great he is, how strong he is, how powerful he is. Hard as it may be, the instruction from God is that you keep on digging. That's why there's a song that says you keep on doing good things. You keep on digging. You keep on digging. That you are not a lazy person. You are the worker. Unkulunkulu blesses the work of your hands. Unkulunkulu blesses your business. Unkulunkulu blesses your career. Unkulunkulu blesses your study. But there will always be enemies in your business, in your career, even in your studies. Therefore, just because I had an argument with my lecturer, therefore I'm leaving my studies. You keep on even studying harder and doing much more greater, so that no, this one, no matter, but he even works much more harder. Never stop digging, and as a guy, keep on digging. Why are you digging? Because you are the copy of God. You're gonna dig in, and what comes out there in the well is life. Not only life, you're going to be a joyful person. Not only a joyful person, in the midst of challenges. You know that digging also means that do not give up. Do not give up on the plan that God has already ended before it begins about your life. Oh, Jesus. Because you are favored. Favor attracts jealousy. Favor attracts enemies. Favor attracts attacks. Uzoba abantu azoba jealous, uzoba nezitha, bazo-attacka, bakhulume kabi nawe emsebenzini, baspread the rumor and do everything. Wena uNkulunkulu ubeke kwenye icategory. Manje wena ngoba earlier on mangwele move so that kungabi ne-miscall. In Peter, in 2 Peter 3:9, it's ekugcineni ithi and change their way, change the way they think and act. Now, there is this illustration of a race. A cheetah, they say, is one, not only is one, is the fastest animal. But okay, just give me the speed. They say to explore the most interesting facts about this well-known speedster. Oh, but there is a speedster, I mean, yeah, I'm a traffic cop. A cheetah are the world's fastest land mammals. They are built for speed. You are built for God's blessings. You are built for God's grace. You are built for God's increase. You are built with uNkulunkulu magati. You must dominate. A domination issue with I want you to increase. I want you, when you sow for your trusting in me, you will be able to reap 100-fold. That is what you are created for. Similar as a cheetah. If the cheetah is created for speed, when you are created to be an increasing blessing that's coming from God. The blessing that comes from God must overflow to you because you are a dominator. Cheetahs, okay, it's fine, this is normal. Cheetahs, they don't roar, they don't do all of those things. But cheetahs, they are created for speed. Listen to their eyes help them to hunt. They are not created for race. They have natural camouflage. Then they say, the cheetah is fastest animal, yes, estimated to be capable of running at 80 to 128 kilometers per hour. Therefore, let's go back to that picture as we close. On to the good pastor today. So let's say this so that must we no. Now, a cheetah is Shalem, similar as Isaac. I don't want to contend with these people. If I phone and went, Mabai tat. Mama phone and Mabai tat. Mama phone and Mabai tat. Because you have created me to dominate. Yonke into any bambayo. Izo shinja. Izo leta umehlugo. The cheetah, but okay, now there's going to be a race. With the greyhound dogs, we know that they're regarded as the hunting dog. They are the hunting what? Dogs. The greyhound. A cheetah is a hunter. Now, a cheetah is not created. Same is called. A cheetah is not created to race with the greyhound dogs. A cheetah is created to hunt the greyhound dogs and chase after them and eat them. We are busy Oh, Jesus. We are busy worrying ourselves. We are busy in a situation where Unkulunkulu says, I have elevated you, I have increased you, I have opened opportunities for you, but you are still wanting to negotiate an environment where God has already given you victory. It's the cheater. It's the cheater. He said, that's the same. Okay, maybe if in the sofa la benzohlala esofeni ngibeke 4. That's the way healing ngakhona. He said like he's been 4 and maybe he's sipping a juice or having coffee. These are my closing words. Why must you be in competition nabantu that you are created to dominate? Why must you always want to force yourself? You want to prove yourself to abantu that God has said you are the dominator. But when you want to prove yourself, may we have the spirit of a cheater. That in our mind, our thinking, and our acting must change. That I shall not pursue the things that will waste my time. I shall not pursue the things which are not going to bring the results that are suitable for me. I shall not pursue the things that are not in the plan of God about my life. I shall not pursue the things that are going to distract me from where God is taking me. I shall not pursue izinto mover into the plan of God. Who? If I'm a dominator, let your life bonakala ukuthi you are a dominator. Dominate. You dominate, but bayakhatha, you continue digging. You continue digging. Isaac names igama lakhe Isaac means rejoice. Why? When God has even given you such a powerful name, rejoice. The song of says, rejoice in the Lord. Yeah, rejoice. But you are a rejoicer. Even your name is rejoice. But when Gubandesimu was said, he never contended because he said, my name is rejoice. Therefore, Mama Vale, I'm going to move on the other side with laughter because my name means laughter. My name means laughter. Who? Daniel 1:9. Now God granted Daniel the favor and the compassion in the sight of the commander of the officials. In a similar way, Isaac found favor again from the king, and the king said, dude, can we reconcile and make peace? Numbers 21 verses 16. From there they traveled to the well of there where the Lord has instructed Moses, gather the people together, I will give them water. May the spirit of speed, zonke izinto that have been delayed, may the cheater domination be visible upon your life. May God allow you to focus. Oh yes, Lord. Just 1 minute. If I miss this, then I will have lost it. This is what the Lord is saying unto me now about focus. One of the things that I'm trained of is photograph. In my previous work as a journalist, as Ubabu Jaja is focusing on me. Now they say there's a 90-degree virtual. Now when you are focusing, kunezinto eziningi that are are characterizing the end product. If the picture is blurred, it's not clear, it's not usable, it's a waste of time. Even if you've traveled to New York or you tata itombe with the most person that you like or you trust, or with President Obama or whoever, or shuti tombe naye, you know, have you seen what? There's nothing pains like umuntu ifona shuti isithombe mofike endlini ukhathile. God says, let's stay into our focus. See the very focus, everything. Meaning the end product must be usable. Blessing yakho uNkulunkulu akunikeze yona. Ozangatalwane senvalile. uNkulunkulu giving me this vision that even in our phones, our phone bankings and all of those things, or our phones, you either operate it with your thumb, it reads your finger, your fingerprints, or abanye, it reads your face. Therefore, blessing yakho maseka ifakile in your fingerprints uNkulunkulu. Ubani ozothatha i-fingerprint yakho noma angayiphotocopy masaka angeke ize iproduce the same results. These days moya ebank ufaka ikhadi lakho moya uchange something but faka umbonzi wakho. Even if bakunike ikhadi unekhadi noma ufake i-pin code i-right, lo sengane uyabona the pin code is correct, but still let us authenticize ukuthi le pin code awunikwanga nje, faka umuntu. Those banks which are advanced, but put your face. Then as you put your face, then the screen shows up. It thinks are correct. Therefore, why compete with people on your blessing? That uNkulunkulu has already said, this is your fingerprint, it reads your face. May we, as we move this week, this time, even if we're going to be fellowshipping virtually, may we know that the adversary is there usicindezela phansi and discourage us. But ngoba thina singababusisiwe asimi la i-adversary egcina khona. Mayisicindezela siyamuva and go to the next place. Mayisilandela siyamuva and go to the next place, because we are created for domination. May you dominate in your enemies. May you dominate in your finances. May you dominate in your health. May you dominate in wisdom. May you dominate in everything that God has given unto you. Amen. May izandla zakho, according to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verses 12, which says, and let the works of your hands zilete isibusiso, so that you do not have to depend on any other person. May everything that has been delaying, the cheetah spirit is released. You are created. You are created to be the hunter. Therefore, laba bazofaka ku race bathi masi race bakwehlisa man bayademote. Maro ekhanya police. May you not let people demote you from the throne that God has placed unto you. Now, finally, each cheetah is created with greyhound. It feasts on them. I drink breakfast, lunch, supper. Therefore, God is created to eat them. Because he's the hunter. Why must I race?